Hi, welcome back to Car Training. Today we're going to go over how to fill out the recommendation and send it to your customer through Car. And now I'm going to start my timer. So now you'll notice that I have a pause, job done, and fill recommendation button. So we're going to go back into the recommendation page. And now you will see that I am assigned this service request. This is the status. This is the start time. And the end time based on my estimated service time should be 1:57 p.m. Notes are information that you possibly get from the client when they call you. You can write things down here like brakes make noise, need to check. Walk around video allows you to take a video from your cell phone and upload it directly to each service request. This helps you keep track of any vehicle damage that may be already existing on the vehicle the day it gets dropped off at your service facility. Overall service metrics help you keep track of profit and profit margin. Documents and images allow you to upload documents of any kind, essentially PDF, .doc, and .docx. They can come from scan tools, or they can come from reports or information that the customer provides to you. You can put everything here. Uploading images allows you to take four-corner images as an example, or pictures of the instrument cluster, and attach them to this service request as documentation. Below that, you have the ability to print a technician sheet, print an estimate for a client that may be waiting, and you have Parts Tech and Next Part buttons. So Parts Tech will allow you to place an order directly from this screen for anything that you have outlined in your service request jobs. Next Part will allow you to view parts that you've added to the cart, but you cannot place the order directly from here. You would have to go into each cart individually and place an order as needed. So getting into the first service request job, we're going to go over how we recommend you use Car at your service facility. We're going to go over our recommended way, and then we're going to go over the easy way, ultimately giving you the option to do what you deem best for your business. So we subscribe to the logic that you should always inspect the vehicle prior to making any recommendations or giving real estimates on how much things would cost. This allows you to establish a trust baseline between your clients and you, and it positions you as the authority in servicing their vehicle. So, going with that in mind, we have created a complete inspection with report job on our quick service checklist. So if a customer was coming to us for the first time, and let's say they came in with brake noise issues and brake performance issues, this is where we would start. We would bring the vehicle in and we would perform an on-lift inspection. So let's say your technician is inspecting it and he's putting in his notes. So the vehicle needs oil change, tire rotation, front brakes, and he uploads some pictures. So now we would normally recommend that you perform an actual inspection. So in order to really present value to your client, we would strongly suggest you take this opportunity to perform a battery test, check their air filters, check their cabin filter, tire tread depth, check around each corner of the car, make sure the suspension is in good condition, check all the fluids, take an opportunity to take a picture of things that are good and things that may be questionable down the road. And we would recommend you upload them. This helps you build rapport and trust with this client, and that'll only pay itself back as things keep going forward. So going from here, you have the ability to add parts, generic jobs. Next Part and Parts Tech labor hours are essentially pulled in when we search for parts. We'll show you how this works as we proceed. Labor hours are labor hours that you would be filling in and not pulling down, but they all lead to labor price. So no matter what you put in each one of these boxes, it calculates based on the labor rate you have chosen. So you also have the ability to add computer codes, and I'm not going over the obvious things. So you can search your internal database, pre-populate and hit add, and it adds it to the service request job. Same thing with generic jobs. You can search or just select, or you can add new. So on parts, if you click add new, you will have the add new part pop-up. Here, this allows you to keep the part name, vendor name, manufacturer, and part number as you add more than one part. If you don't have this checked off, it won't keep the same information. Now, why would you do that? If you're inputting an invoice from a dealer that may have 5 or 6 parts, you don't want to add vendor or manufacturer 5 or 6 times. Sometimes the part numbers are similar. So if you keep this information as you submit and add new, it will just make the data entry time significantly faster. But this is where you would add a new part in a service request that is not in your database and something that you did not pull down from Parts Tech or NextPart. Stock order works when you have parts that you have pulled in from your internal database, and then pressing it allows you to order just that part from Parts Tech right away. So now it'll pull up the PF47 oil filter, show me my main supplier, and then give me the option to change between the suppliers that I have in my Parts Tech account. Here I can add it to the cart and press Buy Now. Notice it says Buy Now and not Submit. Buy Now will immediately dispatch this order from that vendor to your service facility. So we're going to close out of the stock order window. We're going to go back into our service request job, and we're going to actually delete these parts because we don't need them for the exercise that we're doing here. When you're deleting it, it asks if you want to put this part back into stock or add it to a return queue. We have a return queue on the parts section of car. So we're going to keep that in stock, delete this generic job. So now if you perform a comprehensive inspection and a vehicle inspection report, so we have a standard vehicle inspection report as a part of car. Really easy to fill out. You can just go in and mark what's red. This gets sent to your client when you send the service request for their approval. You can also download it here and print it if necessary. So now if you perform a comprehensive inspection with battery test, air filter checks, all full quality checks that you take pictures or maybe videos of, you should charge for your time. So, you may only want to charge an hour for that. You may want to charge a half hour. Whatever you do, you should not do this entirely for free unless it's a part of another service. Like if you include this with your oil change, I can understand you not wanting to charge. But if you're looking at a car for the first time, you should not be doing it free. So in this instance, our technician recommends oil change and front brakes. So we're going to add these jobs to our service request. So now, notice underneath complete inspection report, we have our synthetic engine oil and filter change. So there are several ways that you can build this out. I will show you the way that we do it here and what we recommend you do, because this will help your reports be accurate and true, essentially giving you a better grasp on your business and how much profit you are making and where you may need to make adjustments. So the first thing I'll point out is you will see this light bulb icon on the right-hand side. If you click that, the system will do a search for any other vehicle that is similar to the vehicle in this service request and look for other jobs where synthetic engine oil and filter change were completed in this case. So because we're in the synthetic engine oil and filter change job, it is looking for Honda pilots that have this service performed. And it has pulled up a 2021 that has 3 oil changes performed. So this second one looks just like how we would do it. Here we have an engine oil filter. We have motor oil. We have it billed out as 0, and we do that to track our parts expense. We have a generic job. We have some tire rotation and oil disposal fee, no labor, and a description of our work. And there's even some torque specs because we put this in every time to just save time in the future. So now seeing this, you have the ability to copy this job or paste it directly into this service request. So if you click the right icon, paste, it will take this and paste it directly into the service request job that you are in. So now here's how we would do it to account for parts and labor. We put the oil filter at 0 and we put the motor oil at 0. So I'm going to adjust the cost because nothing's ever free, right? So we're going to put the cost at $4 per quart. So now I'm taking on the expense of 4 quarts of 5W30. I'm sorry, not 4 quarts. At 5.5 quarts of 5W30 for $4 per quart. Additionally, I'm taking on the expense of 1 oil filter at $8.11. And here's how I cover that cost. I have a generic job for a 5W30 oil change that includes 5 quarts at $109.95. So you'll notice that I'm actually giving away a half a quart to this client and not charging them for it. And this is how you start to show value. You put this on the invoice. I'm charging to rotate their tires. I have an oil disposal fee, which is standard business practice. There is no labor associated because I'm accounting for my labor in my generic job. So this generic job likely has a cost associated with it of about $35, which is what the labor would cost me to get this job done at our facility. I'm accounting for the parts here. So now I'm building an accurate account of where my expenses are and where my income is coming from. Rotate Tires probably has a cost associated of $10 and I'm charging $20. An oil disposal fee is essentially a cost I'm passing through. Being charged $2, I'm charging $2. In description of work, I'm putting that I changed the engine oil and oil filter, rotated the tires, wheelless drain plug torque and wheel torque because it shows that we're actively doing these things. We recommend you also do the same. So now I have my oil change job all built out. I have a half hour built out for my inspection. And now we're going to do front brakes. So on the front brakes, going back to our light bulb icon for job suggestions, I also have brakes done on that 2021 Honda Pilot. So I have this job all built out. I'm just going to paste it directly in. So now these parts and this job came from a 2021 Honda Pilot, and I'm working on a 2019. So utilizing Parts Tech, I can go into the cart and search for disc brake pads. So I'm going to add some Akebonos to the cart. I'm going to select some rotors and add them to the cart. And I'm going to submit this back. So I'm under the suspicion that these part numbers are going to be the same because I don't think there's much of a difference between the 19 and the 21 Pilot in reference to brakes. So now it overwrote the parts in my service request job with the parts from my Parts Tech cart, which means I can now order this if I want to. But I'm going to go over, let's see, my pricing structure. So my cost is $84.95 at about a 60% profit margin. I'm showing my matrix pricing these out at $191.99. I'm $154 over retail. I think that's a bit pricey. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. So I'm going to bring this down to about $171. And my rotors are coming in at $127.25. The retail is for $98. I'm going to bring these down $10 each. Again, I'm just doing this to try and garner a sale. So now I'm going to review the labor hours, 1.2 and 1.2. That's definitely a mistake. It's only 1.2 once. $120 in labor. Here is the description of work I'm performing. I would probably put the torque specs here. So brake, caliper, bolt, torque, brake, caliper, bracket, torque. So I would actually get these details, list them here because it shows you're doing the work. So now we're ready to send this to our client. So going towards the bottom of the fill recommendation page, you have your subtotal, supply charges if you want to apply them. You can remove them or add them on the fly. If the customer has any discount coupon codes, you can add them here or create one if you need one. You have the ability to add or remove tax as necessary, and you have the ability to add or remove a credit card fee as necessary. So we're going to leave supply charges. We're just going to review our service request one last time. We're good. So I'm done. I'm going to pause my timer. We worked on this for about 32 minutes total on this tutorial video today. And if I want to send it, I can use the quick action menu. So here I can save, close, send, complete. And send will automatically send the customer a text message if you have our text messaging platform, and an email with the PDF attached so they can review it right there on their phone. Once you're done, this brings you back into the service request view page where you can resume your timer or close out and check everything over once again. You'll notice the status is now in approval awaited. We have profit and profit margin, so we can review where we are with our business and with this service. And the client now has an opportunity to review this on their phone if you have the text messaging portion of CAR. From this point, the customer can fill out the authorization on their end, or you can do it for them. We're going to assume that this customer is going to say yes to both services. We can press accept all, and the system will prompt us to continue. So if the service is completed, we can check off this box, and the service request will go into the completed stage and allow you to download an invoice. If the service is not completed and we're ordering parts, or the technician is going to work on the vehicle, we can remove the service completion. And now the system will ask you how authorization was received. So we can mark down that we spoke to the client. Here is the client's phone number. Here is the date and time, how we spoke to them, and save it. And now you will notice that our status is work in progress. So going back into view that service request, it will ask me if I want to resume my timer, if I want to edit my request, which is making any changes, or if the technician is done, you can simply complete it. Completing it will bring you to the service request completion phase. This will ask you if the mileage has changed, and it will also ask if you would like to set a next service reminder if you have this as a part of your CAR package. You can also add a review URL or add a payment URL. Once you're done, press submit. Downloading the invoice, and marking payments as necessary. Thank you very much for watching CAR Training. Have a great day.